Welcome to NewsOK TV. I'm Dave Morris. As we come out of the July 4th holiday weekend, hope your holidays went well for you. We look back at the week that was and perhaps look ahead to the week that will be. You know, last week a lot of things happened. We had the primary elections in Oklahoma, and we'll get to some of the election coverage here in a little bit, but the dominant storyline, if you will, was Kevin Durant leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of people speculated whether he would stay, resign for a year, 2 years, or whether he would go. Kevin Durant surprised everybody by signing with the Golden State Warriors. Here's Thunder GM Sam Presti on his thoughts on Kevin Durant's departure.
Well, first, I just want to thank everybody for coming this evening. Obviously, it's a holiday and a little short notice, so I want to thank everybody for being here. I'd just like to start off by saying, of course, we're disappointed that Kevin Durant's tenure with the Thunder organization has come to a close. We'd all, like to think that it could continue forward, but that's not the case. And, in these situations, I think before we talk about the future, I do think it's important to be very grateful and thankful, and I'd like to thank Kevin for not only what he did for the team and our organization on the floor, but also for what it is that he did for Oklahoma. I think he was synonymous with the Oklahoma City community as well as the Thunder organization. And very rarely in pro sports are you in a situation where a player has that kind of relationship and meaning to a city. And I think he helped Oklahoma City and Oklahoma in general in many ways, in addition to just being a fantastic basketball player. So we need to be thankful for that, and we absolutely are. At the same time, we're incredibly proud of the accomplishments that have taken place over the last 8 years. 4 out of 6 Western Conference Finals, as most of you know, being, I think, second in the league in playoff series victories and having the 4th best record in all of professional sports. He was a contributor to all of those things, and as an organization, we should be incredibly proud of what his tenure represented. Again, when you get into a situation where a player of this magnitude chooses to pursue another challenge in their career, I think we've always shown that we're not going to be deterred. We're going to continue to advance, and we've always taken the approach of things are more new beginnings than endings, and there's a new beginning here for the Thunder, and we have to embrace that, and we have to lean into that. None of us are under the illusion that Kevin Durant, would be here forever. We understand that this is a business, and he has to do what he feels is best for him. But we also understand that part of the NBA and part of sports in general is change, even when you'd prefer that wasn't the case. So in terms of moving forward, obviously we have a lot of different scenarios that we plan for under these circumstances. We're going to take a step back, look at those carefully, try to make quality, thoughtful decisions. And those of you that have been around us and been with us for the 8 years we've been here, we've never been impulsive. We've never been reactionary. We've never been, careless with putting this franchise in the best possible position to be strong and be healthy and be competitive. And I feel like we've been able to do that. So we wouldn't change that right now. So we'll be careful and thoughtful and hopefully intelligent about how we go forward. I don't think we'd be in the position that we are right now in terms of the accomplishments over the last 8 years if we hadn't taken that approach. So although the organization will be different without Kevin, the principles, the values, the things that he helped establish as one of the founding fathers of the organization remain intact and will serve as a bedrock for us going forward.
Yeah, Mr. Presti spoke for about 30 minutes in one of the hottest press conferences I've ever been in. Seriously, there was no air moving in there. But following that press conference, the Oklahoma's Jenny Carlson and Barry Trammell provided their analysis of what they heard, their takeaways from Sam Presti's press conference.
I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. We're at the Thunder practice facility on Monday evening, where we just heard from Sam Presti, Thunder general manager, about Kevin Durant's departure to the Golden State Warriors. And Barry, what struck you about the nearly half hour we heard from Sam?
Well, the big news to me was that Sam sort of felt this coming on. He didn't just get a call this morning and blindsided. He said, I sort of realized it wasn't going our way, maybe earlier in the week, maybe when they met before July 1st. So, Sam had a little bit of a head start in taking this blow, because certainly most of us felt like Kevin Durant was coming back.
Yeah, a lot of people in Oklahoma City wrapping their brains around this. Still difficult, but yeah, Sam Presti seemed to have already come to terms with it. And obviously, one of the next big questions for the Thunder and for Presti is what happens with Russell Westbrook. And he said, I don't have my head in the sand, but all indications I got, Barry, were that he feels like Russell Westbrook's in and ready to lead this team.
Well, I mean, the idea that you'd trade Russell Westbrook, I mean, that's just madness. I mean, that's the ultimate white flag. When teams lose a superstar like Kevin Durant, most of them don't have a Russell Westbrook still on the roster. Most of them don't have a corral of young 22, 23, 24-year-old players who have great potential. So it's a discouraging day. It's a disappointing day, but it's not the end of the road for the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder still has a playoff roster. They still got a proud tradition. They've still got a lot of things going for them. This next season is not going to be destitute. They can get in there and fight, and that was Sam Presti's message, which was stay in there and fight.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's the message that he's had with the players he's been in contact with. Not a ton of guys that he's talked to by voice, but some text messages, including Russell Westbrook, one of those guys that he has communicated via text. There'll be more conversations, I'm sure, in coming days as they continue to get reestablished here in Oklahoma City, a few days away for Presti and his team in New York talking to Durant. But I thought it was interesting, as we mentioned before, a lot of people here getting their heads sort of wrapped around this. And Sam Presti had some words for Oklahoma City fans, which obviously there's a lot of passions running high, disappointment, anger from some too. He really had some good stuff to say directly to fans of the Thunder.
Well, yeah, he talked about how Durant and the city sort of came together in 2008 and really just blossomed together on an upward trajectory. They're an aspiring city, a 20-year-old basketball player, and now the city's more than aspiring, and Durant is more than 20 years old. So the idea that Durant has reached a certain level and able to do all kinds of things, Oklahoma City has reached a certain level. So he's saying, hey, this is not the end of the road for Oklahoma City. The grit and the determination was in the water when we got here. It's still in the water. This is not the end for Oklahoma City. And
you can watch the GM's press conference. It went about 30 minutes in its entirety online at NewsOK.com, and plenty more coverage of Kevin Durant and the Thunder online at NewsOK as well. When we come back, we'll take a look at the newest Ferris wheel in Oklahoma City. Stay with us.
Abigail's able to gain a greater knowledge when she picks up the Oklahoman. It gives her a greater advantage moving forward on an education level.
Reading news and politics does make me smarter. It just tells me what's going on in the world. I don't want Hillary or Carly to be the first woman president. I want to be the first woman president.
I don't want to have to spend the time to look at a Twitter post and decide whether or not that's a legitimate post or not. What I'm interested in is the news, and I want the news to be reliably reported. I can trust that the Oklahoman has reporters that are going out and checking the sources, and I can trust that the information that's in the paper is factual.
Newspaper, it makes me feel smarter because I can learn about different things that happen on the other side of the world. Well, it's something that my friends don't do, and they're like, "Where do you get all this information?" I'm like, "Don't you know the Oklahoma newspaper?" We're like, "We don't do that. We play video games." It makes me feel smarter than them, and I like being smarter than other people.
Welcome back to NewsOK TV. I'm Dave Morris. As I mentioned, we're coming out of the holiday weekend, the 4th of July holiday weekend, and that was the opening day for the Wheeler District Ferris wheel. We caught up with Blair Humphreys for a preview and a sneak peek last week.
We're standing here in the Wheeler Riverfront Plaza. You can see the Wheeler Ferris wheel behind me, as well as the Hugh Meade's OKC statue. And this is really going to be the place for celebration, for public life, and play host to hopefully many events and many fun times for the Oklahoma City community, as well as neighbors and residents of Wheeler District. There's a lot that's going into this, from coordinating public art to refurbishing a Ferris wheel and getting it located on the banks of the Oklahoma River. So we've collaborated with city officials. We've worked with a range of designers. We've worked with amusement ride specialists. So there's a lot that's going into it. A lot of permits that had to be approved. We're here though. We're ready to open, and we're excited to open. The Ferris wheel itself came from the Santa Monica Pier. My brother Grant bought it on eBay in 2008, and you know, it's definitely our family's most exciting eBay purchase. And we've had it in storage and then ultimately being refurbished up in Wichita, Kansas. It was installed just a few months ago, and we've been working to get everything tested, get everything ready, and it's looking great. It's brand new wheel basically at this point. Everything's shiny, everything's clean, everything's ready for Oklahoma City and for visitors to come out and take a look. We have 20 gondolas. Each gondola seats 6 adults or 8, including kids, and it'll run all day, every day, from 11 in the morning to 9 at night on weekdays, and from 11 in the morning to 10 on Friday and Saturday. We'll be closed on Sunday.
Promised her a ride, so had to come out.
Us because we used to farm it.
Yeah.
We have chicken feed out on our trailer right now.
We have over 100,000 LED lights on this thing. It's fully programmable. It's really fun. I think people are going to enjoy seeing it, whether they're here enjoying the Ferris wheel with the lights and the downtown skyline in the background, or even if they're driving past on I-40 or across the river, you'll be able to see the Ferris wheel reflecting off the Oklahoma River. So this is the OKC statue. It's almost 10 feet tall and over 27 feet long. It's a great opportunity to come get your picture and something that literally, you know, it screams Oklahoma City. It is the Oklahoma City photo op, and yeah, we've played around it. It's going to be lit up each night. We've also played around with some local projection artists. You can project images on it and do some other things. So I think we'll have a lot of fun with this, and we're really proud of Hugh and the great work that he's done here. So the Wheeler Ferris wheel is set to open on Monday, July 4th. It's an exciting day for us. It's been a long time coming. But we're excited to get the wheel open, to have people out, to give everyone an opportunity to take their first ride and get to see the beautiful views that you can get of the Oklahoma River and the downtown skyline and the surrounding area. So we're easy to get to. We're just south of I-40 across the Oklahoma River on Western Avenue.
And congratulations to Blair Humphreys and everybody involved in that project. It's pretty cool. Again, it opened Monday, the 4th of July, the soft opening, if you will, last week. Was very nice. We had a very nice night for it. The panoramic view of Oklahoma City from on top, about 100 feet up on the Ferris wheel, is pretty spectacular. Again, the day pass $6, or the ride is $6, and the day pass is $10. When we come back, we have an interview with Aurora Lora. She was named Oklahoma City's permanent superintendent, and we caught up with a group down at the day shelter registering homeless people for elections, upcoming elections. So those two videos coming up right after the break.
Unless somebody acted on their behalf, they probably would not see the World War II Memorial because it was erected 6 decades after their service. The coverage that we received in the Oklahoman brought some big-time financial support that allowed us to take well over 2,000 Oklahoma veterans to D.C. at no cost to them. The Oklahoman and other foundations have literally put feet and wings to our mission.
It's where I pick up everything that I need to know and what's happening in this city. The newspaper's the best way to be informed because they give me more than just a simple soundbite. They give me the story I need behind the event. All of the things that led up to it, how it happened, how it's detailed afterwards. I don't know about it unless I've read it in the Oklahoman.
I think the biggest challenge is poverty and the issues that the kids bring to school that are beyond our control.
And a lot of times students don't have parents or an adult to listen to them read.
The Oklahoma tutors have been our most faithful, and they've really changed lives over 22 years. If every business adopted a school, we could change the world.
Oklahoma City School Board met last week, and among the discussions they had was whether Aurora Lora, who had been the interim superintendent following the dismissal of Rob New, would be the new superintendent. They went to executive session and came back and said yes, Aurora Lora would be the permanent Oklahoma City Public Schools superintendent. Our Ben Felder had a one-on-one with Ms. Lora following that meeting.
Hi, I'm Ben Felder with the Oklahoman and NewsOK, and joining me is Oklahoma City Public Schools' new permanent superintendent, Aurora Lora. Aurora, congratulations on a unanimous vote from the school board today. Just your general thoughts. You've been acting as interim superintendent for a few months, but now it's permanent.
Yeah, today is just such a happy day for me. I've been working for this for a long time, and I cannot imagine a district that I'd rather be part of.
A couple of years ago, you actually interviewed for the superintendent position. Rob New was named the superintendent. I spoke with board members then and now who said that you were impressive during that interview process, but they chose to go with Rob. Why was this still a district you wanted to come to when it seemed like you were in the running for a superintendent position, if not here, then maybe some other places? Why was this an important community for you?
Yeah, when I interviewed for this job 2 years ago, I did my research on Oklahoma City and learned about the schools and the people. I met with the board multiple times through that interview process. And this is a place that I felt very connected to. I felt like this is a place that I definitely want to be part of. So I was disappointed when I didn't get selected 2 years ago. But when the offer came for me to come as the number 2, I realized that this is a district that I want to work for and make a difference in. So I came anyway, and I'm glad I stayed. I have not regretted my decision. I've loved it even more since moving here, and I'm so proud and happy to be the new superintendent.
Yeah, large urban school systems like Oklahoma City come with a lot of challenges. That was the case a couple of years ago, but now fast forward, it seems like the challenges are even multiplied. It's a hit with budget cuts like a lot of districts across the state have, teacher shortages, a lot of challenges. What's your priorities as you head? We're a month away from the start of school, but what is it the big challenges right now that you're focused on?
This is going to be a challenging year because we just cut $30 million, so we're operating with fewer staff, fewer resources for schools, and we've been told that it's probably going to be another tough budget year ahead with additional cuts coming for the following school year. So that is extremely challenging for any new superintendent to take on. But what I can say is I'm focused on doing the right thing for kids, trying to help guide us through these difficult times, and keeping the focus on instruction and helping to support teachers in the classroom. So it is going to be challenging, but I'm determined to help make sure we're using every penny that we have wisely, and that we're trying to make sure that there's not as much of an impact as there possibly could be for kids.
Yeah, with a new superintendent often comes new change, new plans, new proposals, but you've been the associate superintendent working with Rob over the last couple of years. So this is a little bit of a different situation. It's not an outside hire. You've been promoted from within. Do you see this kind of a continuation of things you've been working on the next couple of years? Anything new? Just how do you see this transition looking?
I do see this as a continuation of a lot of the things that we've been working on. I've worked very closely with Rob over the last 2 years. I was very involved with the development of our district strategic plan. So the goals for the next 5 years are staying the same. The strategies that we're using are staying the same. We are having to make changes based on resources, but I believe and the lack of funding, but I believe it's helping us to make stronger decisions in order to still reach those goals. So basically, I think what people can expect is stability from me as the new superintendent.
Thank you, Ben. I caught up with Ben Felder also last week over at the Westside Day Shelter for registering homeless persons to become registered voters. Here's their story.
No, I'm actually living in the street. I worked at a temp most of my life and made a partial income but not a full income, so I live on part of the minimum wage a large part of the time. It's pretty difficult living to live on $50 or $100 a week or less, and for people to be able to promote themselves and their interests, they have to come out and vote, and they have to show signs of taking an interest in things like unemployment. Often in Oklahoma, they tried to eliminate unemployment, tried to eliminate workmen's compensation, tried to curtail or limit food stamps and so forth, and people can't survive without those margins of safety. So it's important for people to express themselves in order to stay alive and stay healthy.
Several times a year we have a special initiative to get out to different places other than our clinic to register people to vote. And these are a lot of our clients here that access the health care for the homeless. And so we have 3 of these scheduled, June, July, and August, and before the big election. And it's because a lot of people have heard about the big election, and so we have more people that are interested in the political process. And so they need to know how their vote can count, how their voice can count in the state elections and the federal election.
Well, first of all, I tell them it's important because every vote does count, and that whether they believe it or not, even as they are in this situation, at being homeless, it does not matter. They have a voice.
People say that they want to vote for this because he's going to bring jobs, or that she's going to do this, or so they're paying attention to the campaign promises. And the TV's on all day long here, so they get the news. They read the newspaper every day. They're at the library accessing CNN and all the news websites, so people know what's going on for the most part.
If the issues about homelessness and about the needs of homeless people, if they're to be addressed, then you need someone with compassion, whether it's in the state or the White House, to know that there are other people out here that are basically living day by day, hour by hour, and that they have to have their voices heard, and they have to exercise that right.
Actually, day to day, people don't see it as a high priority, but overall, in a year's time, there are a lot of significant changes happen politically, and it's important to keep people's benefits or their allowances for either rights or privileges. These days, it's a popular sport to argue whether it's a privilege or a right to have various aspects of their protections continued, and it can change and swing overnight. A single Supreme Court decision can swing the entire political process, so it's important for people to express themselves.
Probably about half of the people here don't want to vote because they don't feel like anybody cares, because they feel like part of the situation is, and some of the things that have brought them to this point, some of them realize that their own personal issues may have brought them, but some of the things that they need to get them out of homelessness are not there.
As I mentioned, primary election night in Oklahoma was last Tuesday night. Ben Veller was among those joining us. Rick Green from the Oklahoman and Chris Castile. The Oklahoman's Kelly Dyer Fry was on set with us, as well as Kathy Cummings and Alex Wentz. We had live coverage throughout the night on NewsOK.com. You can go back and look at that political coverage, the election night, on NewsOK.com if you want to. And upcoming election coverage as we head to the general election in November. Of course, our Chris Castile in Washington providing that national perspective as we go towards Trump and Clinton in the fall.
The public's perception of Bodine, there was no learning going on. The kids were not engaged. It was very transient. The article that Adam Kemp wrote, it changed the perception of the entire school building, that what was happening inside the building was educational and exciting and safe. It is amazing what one article in the Oklahoman can do to change the perception of our community.
I'm not interested in the fluff and the repetition that is so common in other news sources. My time is valuable. I'm kind of an efficiency nut, and I like to be able to glean the information that I'm interested in without having to wait through a whole newscast. I've always preferred the Oklahoman in general over other news outlets because it's presented in a way that is convenient for me and in a way that's efficient.
I do sometimes
sometimes use Facebook or BuzzFeed as a source of information, but it's definitely not my top source. I am sure a lot of my friends think that those sites are legit. I want to be able to believe what somebody's saying and know that it's not just an opinion. The Oklahoman is definitely a resource that I turn to for the true facts. After I've seen what's going on elsewhere, I will definitely turn to the Oklahoman to see what's really happening.
All right, we'll leave you with this following video produced by Greg Singleton, a look at moonshine. That's right, Okie shine, if you will.
This is just a new moonshine distillery. We just opened up. This is our 4th month in business, going into month 5 right now. Turned a hobby into a business. I figured it'd be best to do that instead of going to jail. I'm the first moonshine distillery in the state of Oklahoma, yes. I don't know of any, actually I know there's not any in the state. I think the closest one we have is in Missouri or in Texas. There's one in each. Actually one opened up in Arkansas a few years ago. So we got a couple of them in the surrounding states, but we're the only one in Oklahoma. Yeah, our base product is all made from brown sugar. It's a rum-based recipe. We are working on having 180 proof out of the same recipe. We use that 180 proof and cut it down with whatever flavor we're working on. We're working on a strawberry shortcake, a peach pie, pecan pie. Just about anything someone will ask us to do, we'll try it at least once and see how it goes. So we're hoping to have those 3 out in the next 3 months. Just about any liquor store in the state of Oklahoma. I think we're in 60 bars in the state, and we're in about 350 roughly stores in Oklahoma. Even the Warren movie theater just came out with an apocalypse that's made with our stuff. It mixes well with just about anything. We've done our own version of several drinks out of it. Anything from brownie shots to substituting a different rum or vodka for ours, or even starting something from ground up. Well, that's what we did last night till about 11 o'clock, was trying new mixed drinks ideas for a couple of events that we're going to.
All right, that's it for this edition of NewsOK TV. I'm Dave Morris, coming at you from the home office. Thanks for tuning in this week. Much appreciated. These videos and many more just like them can be found online at newsok.com. Enjoy your summer, stay cool, and have a great week, everyone.